If your kitchen looks organized, but somehow still feels like it's actively plotting against you, if every time you cook dinner, you're opening 17 cabinets like you're searching for hidden treasure, if you've ever bought a gadget at 10 p.m. and thought, this is the thing that will finally make me a meal prepping goddess, and now that gadget is living in a cabinet with 3 water bottles, 2 mystery lids, and a level of confidence that it absolutely does not deserve, then this video might save your kitchen. Here's the one rule: organize your kitchen around what you actually use, not who you wish you were, not your fantasy self, not the version of you that wakes up at 5 a.m. to make homemade croissants while listening to birds sing in harmony. Your actual self, the one who opens the fridge and stares into it like the answers are going to appear through telepathy. That person. Because a lot of kitchen frustration comes from organizing around imaginary people. You know her. She owns 17 baking pans. She makes fresh pasta. She has matching jars. She labels things. She knows where the cinnamon is. Meanwhile, your real self is opening 4 cabinets yelling, why do we own 9 spatulas? The kitchen should support the real you, not the fictional character you've been casting in your head. Because every day your kitchen asks one question: how do you actually live? And your cabinets answer, honestly, we have no idea. That's the problem. Most people organize kitchens based on categories they saw online, or pretty pictures, or guilt. A shocking amount of kitchen organization is actually guilt storage. That's not a baking cabinet. That's a museum dedicated to good intentions. The bread machine isn't baking bread. It's making you feel bad. Different product, different job description. So today we're fixing that, and we're going to make your kitchen easier to cook in, easier to clean, easier to maintain, and easier for the entire family to help with. Because if only one person understands the system, you don't have a system. You have a hostage situation. The first thing you need to do is look at your habits, not your aspirations, your habits. What do you cook every week? What tools do you reach for constantly? What foods disappear the fastest? What drawer gets opened so often it should qualify for frequent flyer miles? Those things belong in prime real estate, the kitchen equivalent of beachfront property. Your coffee supplies? Close to the coffee maker. Groundbreaking, I know. Next, I'll reveal that forks should be near plates. The organizing industry may never recover. But seriously, people put things where they fit instead of where they're used, and then every meal becomes a scavenger hunt. You should not need cardio to make a sandwich. If you use a skillet every day, don't store it behind 7 specialty appliances. The skillet should be easy to grab. The cotton candy machine can take a less prestigious position. It had one good day in 2018. It's fine. The goal is convenience, because convenience wins every time. You're not going to magically become more disciplined because your measuring cups are difficult to reach. You're just going to become annoyed, and annoyed people order takeout. Now let's talk about clutter creep, the sneakiest creature in the kitchen. Clutter creep never arrives dramatically. Nobody walks into the kitchen carrying 12 random items and announces, I have come to destroy order. No, clutter creep arrives one coupon, 1 water bottle, and one mystery gadget at a time. It moves quietly, like a ninja with a shopping habit. One day your counter is clear. The next day there's mail, a candle, a charging cable, a bowl, a random screw, a pair of scissors, and somehow a birthday card from 3 years ago. The counter has become a storage unit. To fight clutter creep, reduce inventory. This sounds obvious, but it is incredibly powerful. The fewer things you own, the fewer things you have to manage. Every item in your kitchen requires attention, storage, cleaning, maintenance, decision making. That's a lot of emotional labor from a melon baller. If you haven't used something in years, ask why it's still employed. The kitchen budget is tight. We need performance reviews. Some gadgets are working hard. Others are just collecting dust and pretending to be team players. And gadgets deserve special attention because gadgets are excellent salespeople. A gadget says, you'll cook more, you'll eat healthier, you'll save time. Then 6 months later, you're hand washing 12 pieces of plastic, wondering what happened. Most gadgets solve a problem that a knife already solved. A knife is sitting there thinking, I've been handling this since the beginning. A simplified kitchen saves money because once you're organized, you stop shopping for solutions. You start using what you already have, and that's powerful. Now let's talk systems. Your kitchen needs a system that works even when you're tired, even when you're busy, even when the week has gone completely off the rails. Because the true test of organization isn't whether it works on your best day, it's whether it works on Tuesday. Tuesday is where systems reveal their character. Anyone can organize after watching 5 motivational videos and drinking a giant iced coffee. Tuesday is different. Tuesday says, good luck. Your system needs to be simple, simple enough that everyone can follow it. Children, teenagers, partners, guests, anyone. Because if the organizational system requires a training seminar, nobody's using it. If you need a flow chart to put away crackers, we've gone too far. The simpler the system, the more likely people are to maintain it. Which brings us to one of the most important principles: categorize everything, then contain it. That's it. Category first, containers second, not the other way around. Do not buy containers first. Containers are seductive. Containers make promises. Containers say, buy me and your life will change. Meanwhile, you haven't decided what's actually going inside them. Now you own 12 empty bins and the same amount of chaos. First, create categories: snacks, breakfast foods, baking supplies, pasta, canned goods, lunch items, spices, tea, coffee, whatever makes sense for your family. Then contain those categories. Use bins, use zipper pouches, use baskets, use organizers. The specific product matters less than the category. The container's job is simple: keep the category together. That's it. No Oscar-worthy performance required. Now let's talk pantry, because the pantry should feel like a grocery store, a tiny grocery store, a grocery store that somehow keeps losing chocolate, but a grocery store. When you walk into a grocery store, everything has a home: pasta with pasta, snacks with snacks, cereal with cereal. Nobody hid the beans behind the marshmallows for fun. There's consistency, visibility, order. You can find things. Imagine that. Your pantry should work the same way. Everything in the same place, all the time. Not most of the time. Not whenever you're feeling organized, all the time. Because consistency beats perfection. You shouldn't have to wonder where something is. You should know. Your oatmeal shouldn't be participating in witness protection. And visibility matters a lot. Because if you can't see something, you forget you own it. Then you buy another one. And now you own 4 containers of paprika, apparently preparing for a paprika emergency. Keep things visible. Avoid hiding products behind one another. When possible, use depth wisely. Make categories easy to see, easy to access, easy to return. Because the easier it is to put something away, the more likely it gets put away. Human beings are astonishingly consistent on this point. Now here's what happens when your pantry has clear categories. Meal planning gets faster. Cooking gets faster. Shopping gets faster. Because your brain isn't searching. Your brain is deciding. Huge difference. You can open the pantry and instantly see what you have. You know what's running low. You know what meals are possible. You know whether buying another box of pasta is reasonable or evidence. And food waste drops dramatically because hidden food becomes forgotten food. Forgotten food becomes expired food. Expired food becomes a science experiment. And your kitchen did not apply to become a laboratory. Regularly toss expired foods. Donate items you won't use. Release things that no longer serve your family. You are not obligated to keep every item forever. Some kitchen items have completed their mission. Others never started. It's okay. Let them go. Now, a quick note about organizing products. There will be trial and error. That's normal. Every kitchen is different. Every family is different. Every cabinet seems to have been designed by a completely different architect. Sometimes you'll buy an organizer and it works beautifully. Sometimes you'll buy an organizer and immediately realize it has the structural integrity of a wet cracker. That's okay. Adjust, refine, experiment. The goal isn't perfection, the goal is functionality. A kitchen that works, a kitchen that supports you, a kitchen that makes daily life easier. Because organization is not about impressing people. Nobody should need a guided tour. Organization exists to reduce friction, to make cooking easier, cleaning easier, living easier. And once you organize around your actual habits, something surprising happens. You stop fighting your kitchen. The kitchen starts helping you. You know where things belong. Everyone else knows where things belong. Cleanup gets faster, cooking gets easier, shopping becomes intentional, waste decreases, stress decreases, and suddenly the kitchen feels manageable. Not perfect, manageable, which is infinitely more useful because perfect kitchens don't cook dinner, functional kitchens do. So if you remember one thing from this entire video, remember this. Stop organizing around who you wish you were. Organize around who you actually are. Build systems for real life. Reduce inventory. Fight clutter creep. Categorize everything. Contain everything. Keep things visible. Keep things consistent. Make it simple. Make it maintainable. And make it easy enough that everyone in the family can participate. Do that and you'll save money. Cook more, waste less, clean faster. And finally have a kitchen that works with you instead of against you, which is nice because the kitchen already contains enough drama. The onions have been carrying that department for years.